Hey everybody, welcome to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. What are we talking about this time? Well, E3 is officially dead. We kind of suspected it would die, but was holding out for hope. But the Entertainment Software Association has announced that its long-running Electronic Entertainment Expo, E3, is officially dead. As reported by the Washington Post, the last in-person E3 conference happened in 2019 before the COVID-19 pandemic and other complications prevented it from coming back in full form since. Despite struggles, the ESA attempted to bring E3 back in various ways. It was canceled in 2020 as a result of the pandemic. In 2021, E3 was an all-digital event. The 2022 show was canceled. And this year's attempt with PAX organizer ReedPop was canned too. E3 had put out there on X or Twitter or whatever the hell you want to call it. After more than 2 decades of E3, each one bigger than the last, the time has come to say goodbye. Thanks for the memories, is what they wrote. After more than 2 decades of hosting an event that served as a central showcase for the US and global video game industry, the Entertainment Software Association decided to bring E3 to a close. ESA President and CEO Stanley Perry Lewis told the Washington Post, "We know the entire industry, players and creators alike, have a lot of passion for E3. We share the passion. We know it's difficult to say goodbye to such a beloved event, but it's the right thing to do given the new opportunities our industry has to reach fans and partners." He told the Washington Post that E3's closure means video games and the surrounding businesses has blossomed in different ways, noting that any of the major game companies can create their own individual showcases. And we've seen that, right? He says that's exciting for our industry, and it means it's an opportunity for them to explore how to engage new audiences in different ways. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, it sucks, Ever since I was young, I remember watching E3, be super excited for E3, get to watch everything new and exciting that's coming to gaming in E3. E3 was this big showcase, and I always wanted to go to it. Bucket list. Now that bucket's in the trash. Throw the list away. Cross that part out. It's never going to happen. It makes sense for Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, which Nintendo has been doing it for a while. You don't need the big showcase anymore, right? With the internet and everything like that, publishers and developers out there can save money by putting on a production online, right? They don't even have to do that. They can just do a sizzle reel and be like, this is what's coming, and just record it and throw it out there in the ether, and everyone's like, oh yeah, gobble it up. And that's all they really need to do, right? They don't need to have all the showmanship and everything like that goes on in E3 and the big conference and the people walking out. They don't need to have Keanu Reeves on stage and whoever else. And all the crazy stuff. I mean, that's one thing what I miss the most is all the crazy stuff that, like, look back at some of the old E3s with Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo and all the crazy shenanigans that happened out there during these showcases. There's just lots of crazy stuff out there, but it sucks to see E3 go away, right? We're still going to get the conferences. We still got Gamescom. We still got Summer Game Fest and the Game Awards that just happened, and PAX and all these other things that happen throughout the year, Tokyo Game Show and stuff like that. But E3 is gone now. So, during the summertime, we're just going to get what we pretty much got this year, which was conferences by all three of the big, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony. Of course, you're still going to have places like IGN and other Game Informer and other sites out there that are going to have coverage all the time and interviews and things like that. But, it wasn't just all that. It was the atmosphere that E3 brought and the excitement and everything. And I think while it's exciting to see what's coming, without E3, that excitement kind of dwindles a bit for me. Without having that showcase, right? I'm still excited about the times, the conferences, and everything like that that's going to happen from the individual developers and publishers out there. But E3 was a really cool just to see all the people in cosplay and the different booths they had set up and all the like statues and weird and crazy stuff that, like, Blizzard used to have like the big statues. I know they still do that for BlizzCon, and Microsoft always have a car out there, and giant Master Chief statues, and Kratos statues from Sony, and Mario and all that stuff, and Sonic and everything like that. And they can still do it in these conferences, but they're not really incentivized to do it, because people can just go online and watch it. And really, they're not even incentivized to have these conferences, right? I think they'll still continue to do it because a lot of people tune in, and that's how they get, a lot of things out there into the ether, a lot of the stuff that they're, things to look forward to type of thing, and drum up excitement from consumers by having these type of shows. But technically they really don't need to do that, right? They could just be like, hey, here's some upcoming games, and they can just do like a little, kind of like they do now with the whole Sony has their state of play, and Microsoft has their, I don't know, whatever they do, and Nintendo has their thing too, where they show up like upcoming games, indie games that are coming out, or upcoming game releases that are coming for them. They could just do stuff like that. They don't really need to have the whole big conferences or big get-togethers with everybody and everything like that. But I think for now, and for the foreseeable future, we will see that continue, at least for now, right? And there probably will be a time where all that's going to stop, and that would be unfortunate if it does. I think they're still going to have places like Summer Game Fest and other places, Gamescom, Tokyo Game Show, and things like that, that'll still put on conferences and still put on things to show off stuff, right? Because they draw a big crowd, and they probably draw a lot of money and things like that. But blame the pandemic on this, right? The pandemic screwed things up. COVID wouldn't have happened. We would all be fine. We would have our E3 still. I think even without COVID, I think with COVID, that kind of forced Sony's hand, because I think Sony was going to go that route anyway. I think with COVID and the whole canceling of E3, that kind of forced their hand to say, all right, our future plans are what we were thinking about. We're going to go ahead and just do. Microsoft was still on board to do E3. And I think them getting out of it was just kind of like, they wanted to, Phil talked about trying to keep the dream alive with things, but I think ultimately they just saw it as, yeah, we want to keep the dream alive. We want to keep doing these things, but is there really a point to it? Is there really a point for us when everyone else is not to take the time to do this whole, song and dance, when no one else is involved in that, right? It's a group effort. You got to get everybody together. And if half the band's missing, then it ain't a show. So it's unfortunate. Like, again, I think for all of us here at ITD, we were really, that was always on our bucket list to go to E3. And now that's just gone, which I don't know if I'm sure at some point we would have went to E3 if it was still going on, but, and I know a lot of people that have gone there, at least the newer E3, it's a bunch of just standing in line and waiting to play things and barely getting any time to really do much of anything. But it's the experience, right? It's the experience of going, even if it is just that. It's the experience of going and just being there, especially for gamers of something that we love. I mean, we could still fly across the country to Tokyo Game Show or something, or Gamescom in Germany, or Summer Game Fest. I think Summer Game Fest is all online. Do they have a physical location? I honestly can't remember. But, maybe we'll put on our own show. No, I'm just joking. We don't have the money for that. But if I did, I would do something. But yeah, I mean, if I had endless amounts of money, I'd put on some sort of show, get people in and have a really cool gaming centric, for the gamers type of show, that you could actually physically go to and be a part of and everything like that. That would be really cool. But, maybe one of these days something will come back. I mean, just because E3 is dead today doesn't mean that something like E3 or something else similar to it may come in the future that will be open to the public, that public can go to and enjoy, and something similar again like E3. But for now, E3 is canceled for the foreseeable future and probably never coming back. Like I said, if it did, I doubt E3 would come back, but something like it would come back, right? I know we have Summer Game Fest, but I'm talking about something more in line with what E3 was, right? Summer Game Fest is about as close as you can get to what E3 was, and that's not even that close, I don't think. But it is what it is. Times have changed. Things happen. Things change. You got to just roll with the punches. You got to change with the atmosphere. Do what you can with how things have advanced and changed in age. As you get older, you reminisce and about the olden days, but you got to move on with today's times and standards, right? You can't live in the past, unfortunately. But it is what it is. So let us know down in the comments below. What do you all think? Did you ever get to go to E3? Let us know down in the comments. Do you miss E3? Do you wish E3? Are you saddened that it's gone now? Or do you prefer Summer Game Fest and the other ones, right? And didn't really care much for E3? Let us know down in the comments below. But other than that, thanks for watching, everybody. And hit the subscribe button if you're not already. Do us a favor, help us out, hit that subscribe button. Hell, if we get enough people hitting subscribe, maybe well into the future we can do our own E3 or something like that. But for now, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.